welcome back to another episode. As I mentioned earlier, it is your girl MamMaJism, aka MamMaJ, and you are listening to MamMaJism. Thank you so much for deciding to listen in on this talk of love and open conversation. Oh, I've missed listening to this song in the background. Oh, okay, we're good. We're composed. Wow. Welcome to another year. It's 2021, y'all. We did it. We're here. We made it. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about my theme, or the theme, for the year. Before we do that, we do have to kind of backtrack a little bit. So it all started in 2016 when I fell in love with myself. I feel like it's only right that I always start with this because something in me shifted. And it was a very pivotal moment for me that made me realize that I need to do more. And so falling in love with myself, for those of you who have experienced falling in love before with a significant other or whatever the case may be, you know that feeling. You think about them all the time. You want to be with them every second of the day. You can't imagine your life without them. That is honestly how it feels to fall in love with yourself. And it's very much possible. It doesn't mean that you can't fall in love with anyone else at the same time. It just means that you have this connection with yourself, a newfound connection with yourself that nobody can taint. Nobody can take away from you. It is something that is solely yours, and it is so beautiful, and I wish it for everybody that I know and that I don't know, because it's just a wonderful feeling, and I feel like more people would be better if they had that feeling, or if they know what that feeling is like, to fall in love with yourself and to love yourself and to truly mean it. And so when that happened in 2016, that led to 2017, which was my themed year of, I called it my Nike year, or my Just Do It year. So that was the time when I had went to Black's Beach for the first time, which for those of you who are not in or from San Diego, know it is a nude beach. So I had went to that beach, got naked, and it was liberating. And of course I posted it on the gram because back then it didn't really happen if you didn't post it. So I think it's still on my page if you want to look it out. If you want to look at my back. And I have not been back since, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, I went to Black's Beach. There were a lot of things that I did that year. I also went to that sensory deprivation tank, which is also called like a float spa, which is just another way to meditate. And it was terrifying at first, but after I did it, I was like, whoa, mind blown, life changing. I'm so glad I said yes to doing this. And it was all good. It was beautiful. That was 2017. 2018 was my flip it year. So what that means is I'm already a pretty optimistic person, but I still have my moments where I can allow a negative thing to affect me for longer than it needs to. And so I decided for 2018, I would make that my flip it year so that I can spend more time working on being more optimistic and looking at things from a brighter note. And that was also why for the last holiday challenge that we had for that last week of Podsmas was to look at each month and try and find good bits in it, because things can destroy you, right? If you let them. But when you take that time to find the good bits, the good little pieces out of a really, really terrible thing, it makes it a little bit more digestible. It makes it a little easier for us to handle that situation so that we can conquer it and move forward. We conquered 2020. If you're listening to this, we conquered 2020. We're still in this thing. You know, it's 2021. It's a new year. There are plenty of opportunities for more growth, for just whatever it is that we're looking for. So that was what that's what 2018 consisted of. Now, on to 2019, that's where things got a little wibbly wobbly, okay? That was a theme of discipline and consistency, which, of course, started off super strong, like most of us do with our New Year's resolutions, but then it started to fall off. And I was, part of it was because I was shifting positions. I was working really heavily with a nonprofit, but really was not digging the way that the owner of that nonprofit was moving. And it was a moral question to myself of, Do I stick with this because, in the name of discipline and consistency, do I stick with this because I value the nonprofit itself, or do I walk away because I can't stand by and condone such actions and behaviors? So it was really a moral question that I was battling with for a while, until eventually I just decided it's best for me to part ways. And because of that, it kind of put me in this position where I was like, well, what now? Because I had put all my eggs in one basket and was like, this is it for me. Like, this is the thing that I want to do. And when it didn't pan out the way that I expected it to, I was like, oh, okay, so back to the drawing boards, I guess, So the discipline and consistency kind of fell off in 2018. But I didn't lose hope completely. In 2019. But I didn't lose hope completely. 2020, I deemed that the year of intention, which I completely forgot about. It wasn't until listening to one of my past episodes where I talked about it, where I had deemed 2020 to be the year of intention, because I feel like when it comes to most of the things that we do, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. It's easy to forget why we chose to do the things that we do. But when you move with intention, it's easier for us to kind of maintain that grip and that handle on reality, you could say. So I deemed it my year of intention, but then COVID happened in March. I was furloughed from my job, and I was just like, I wasn't even thinking about like what the year's theme was, because I was just trying to survive. I'm like, how am I going to, get food in the house? Like, how am I going to pay these bills? You know what I mean? But we made it out. We made it out on top. And so with all of that, I've decided that the theme for this year, for 2021, is the year of living. I mean, the movie Soul just came out, a Disney Pixar film. And if you haven't watched it yet, please go and watch it. As I mentioned a couple episodes back, like, it really had me. I had to take a moment. I had to sit back and just like cry and think about life and think about all the things that I'm doing, and if I'm really truly living, or if I'm just trying to survive. And I don't ever want there to be a moment in my life where I'm just merely surviving. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. So 2021, that is what it's all about. It's living. And that does not mean being, that doesn't mean being irresponsible and doing things that I know I shouldn't be doing in the name of living. No. It really just means being more mindful. Like, if you watch the movie, and maybe I'll do a deeper in-depth conversation on that later on, but I want to give people time to actually watch it, because I'm not a fan of spoilers. But it's being more mindful in your day-to-day. It's taking those moments to just be present, to listen to the things around you, to touch and know what you're touching, feel what you're feeling, know what you're feeling, be able to name it, right? We allow ourselves the time to vision board, think of the future, think of all the things that are to come, and all the things that we want to manifest in our life. We take the time to talk about the past, to reflect on the past, to do all these things, but we never take the time to just be present and to just be here, be mindful, So that is really what 2021 is going to be for me. It's going to be taking more time out of my day to just be present, to just be thankful and grateful and mindful for what I have in front of me, for what I have around me. You know what I mean? And so hopefully that's something that you can relate to, and maybe that's something that you want to do as well. And so with that being said, the challenge for this week is to maybe give it a thought. I know we already have our goals and things that we want to do set, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a theme for the year as well. So if you've never done it before, maybe start thinking about what theme for this year that you want to have. Maybe you want to have this year be your flip it year. Maybe you want this year to be your go year. Maybe this is the year you decide to fall in love with yourself and take yourself out on dates and do all the things that you would do with a significant other for yourself, so that you can experience that feeling of love that nobody else can give you, because it comes from in here, right? It comes from inside. So these are all things that are on the table that you can do, or something completely that I haven't even talked about yet. Whatever works for you. But thank you so much for tuning in. I am so very grateful for each and every one of you. Let's kill it this year. Let's get it, Until next time, I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and follow all the socials at MamMaJism. That's MamMaJism. If you decide you want to financially support me, on my accounts you'll be able to find out how. Thanks in advance. Until we meet again, please be kind to one another. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you.